We're out there. The ball has been done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outfields.
All right, so you want to take a deep dive with us into the world of Very Dark Man?
Sounds good.
Great choice.
Yeah.
He's one of those figures who's really shaking things up in Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
And we've got a stack of articles, excerpts, even some research pages that you sent over.
Yeah.
All pointing to a fascinating story.
Yeah.
He's known for being bold, unapologetic, using comedy to tackle some pretty serious issues.
What's really interesting is how VDM has managed to carve out this really unique space for himself in Nigerian social media. He's not just another influencer chasing clout.
Right.
He's become this voice for justice and authenticity, and he does it all with a wicked sense of humor.
Okay, so for those who might not be totally familiar with him,
Yeah.
let's break down who Very Dark Man really is.
You got it. Very Dark Man, or VDM, as most people know him,
Right.
is a Nigerian content creator and influencer who has gained a massive following for his videos that blend comedy with social commentary. He's become a prominent voice in Nigeria, using his platform not just for entertainment, but to call out societal injustices, expose scams, and hold people accountable.
From what I'm seeing in these articles, he really stands out because he's willing to tackle these tough issues head on. He's not afraid to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah.
And that's what's made him such a powerful force.
Absolutely. You see, in a world where influencers often shy away from controversy, VDM leans right into it.
Right.
This sets him apart in the crowded online world.
Yeah.
He's willing to call out corruption, fraudulent practices, and unethical behavior, even when it comes from public figures or powerful organizations.
It's like he's this hilarious watchdog keeping everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
I'm curious, though, how did he rise to fame? Was it an overnight success?
Actually, no. His path to success is a fascinating example of how persistence and authenticity can really pay off.
Okay.
VDM started small, creating relatable comedy skits that resonated with everyday Nigerians. He was showing the struggles, the humor, the realities of life in a way that felt genuine and unscripted.
It sounds like he really built a strong foundation before jumping into the more serious stuff.
Exactly. And that foundation is key to understanding his success.
Yeah.
People were already drawn to his humor and his relatable persona. So when he started using that same humor to address issues like internet scams, for example,
Right, yeah.
people were already primed to listen.
So it wasn't just about being funny.
Right.
It was about having that established connection with his audience.
Precisely. One of the articles you shared dives into how he exposed a particularly widespread internet scam targeting vulnerable individuals.
Yeah, I remember reading about this. It wasn't just that he called it out.
Right.
He actually helped victims get their money back and even pressured authorities to take action.
That's right. He went beyond just raising awareness. He actually facilitated change.
Wow.
And he did it in a way that resonated with people. Traditional media often reports on these scams,
Yeah.
but VDM's approach using humor and real-life stories made it personal and impactful.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So he's got this solid base, starts tackling important issues, and then things really take off, right?
Right. Those videos exposing scams went viral and basically catapulted him into national prominence. He became a voice for the voiceless, challenging the status quo and demanding accountability. This fearless approach, refusing to be silenced even when tackling powerful entities, solidified his image as a champion for the people.
And this is where we start seeing the real impact of his work, right?
Right.
It's not just entertainment anymore.
Right.
It's sparking important conversations, holding people accountable, and even driving real change.
Absolutely. And he didn't stop there. VDM continued to use his platform to shed light on a whole range of social equity issues. We've got some research here that shows how his content has helped raise awareness about gender inequality, police brutality, and access to education in Nigeria.
It's amazing how he's able to blend humor with these really serious topics.
It's a delicate balance, and one that he navigates masterfully. He never trivializes the issues, but he uses humor to make them more accessible and relatable.
Right.
And that's what makes him so effective. He's able to reach a wide audience, including those who might not normally engage with these types of issues.
So he's not just preaching to the choir, he's bringing in a whole new crowd to the conversation.
Exactly. And that's a key part of his impact. He's really broadened the scope of what it means to be an influencer in Nigeria.
Yeah.
He's shown that you can entertain and empower, make people laugh, while inspiring them to demand change.
I'm curious, though. has this outspokenness come at a cost for him? Taking on these powerful figures and institutions that can't be easy.
You're right to bring that up.
Yeah.
There's always pushback when you challenge the status quo. VDM has definitely faced his share of criticism.
Right.
Some people accuse him of being overly dramatic, simplifying complex issues, or even clout chasing.
Clout chasing.
Which basically means using controversial topics to gain attention and followers.
Yeah. Clout chasing seems to be a common accusation these days, especially in the world of social media.
It is, and it's a valid concern.
Right.
But I think it's important to look at the bigger picture. While VDM does benefit from increased visibility, his focus has consistently been on driving positive change.
Right.
He's not just stirring up controversy for the sake of it.
Yeah.
He's using it to shine a light on issues that matter.
I'm looking at this research paper you mentioned earlier.
Right.
And it actually analyzes the impact of his work. It seems like he's been instrumental in getting authorities to investigate corruption, cracking down on scams, and even prompting policy changes.
Exactly. His work has tangible, real-world impact. And that's what sets him apart from many other influencers.
Right.
He's not just talking the talk, he's walking the walk.
Yeah.
He's putting his platform on the line to hold people accountable and advocate for those who don't have a voice.
It's pretty inspiring to see. He's proving that one person, even without a traditional position of power, can make a real difference.
He is. I think that's why he resonates so deeply with young Nigerians in particular.
Yeah.
He represents a new generation that's not afraid to speak up, demand accountability, and fight for a better future.
It makes you wonder what's next for him. He's clearly got this massive platform and a growing influence. What could the future hold for Very Dark Man?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The material you've shared mentions some possibilities, like venturing into mainstream media politics or even starting a larger movement for justice in Nigeria.
I could totally see him hosting his own news show. Imagine him grilling politicians on air,
Oh, yeah.
using his wit and sharp observations to expose hypocrisy and demand real answers.
He'd be brilliant at that. And he wouldn't shy away from asking the tough questions.
Right.
He'd hold their feet to the fire, demanding transparency and accountability.
Or maybe he'll go the political route himself. Run for office, shake things up from within the system.
Yeah.
With his following and his ability to connect with people, he could be a formidable force.
That's an interesting thought. But politics in Nigeria can be a complex and challenging landscape.
Right.
To be successful, he'd need to build alliances, navigate established power structures, and potentially face even harsher criticism and opposition than he's encountered so far.
Good point. It wouldn't be an easy path. But if anyone could pull it off, I'd put my money on VDM.
I think regardless of what path he chooses, his impact is already undeniable.
Yeah.
He's changed the landscape of social media in Nigeria, showing how it can be a tool for social commentary activism and even driving concrete change.
He's raised the bar for what it means to be an influencer.
Definitely.
It's not just about sponsorships and selfies anymore.
Right.
He's shown that having a platform comes with the responsibility to use it for good, to amplify the voices of the marginalized, and to challenge injustice wherever you see it.
Exactly. He's inspired countless others to use their own voices to stand up for what they believe in and to demand better from those in power.
And that's a legacy that goes far beyond likes and followers. He's leaving a lasting mark on Nigerian society. So for you, the listener, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah.
What stands out to you about Very Dark Man's journey?
We'd love to hear your perspective. What do you think about the balance he strikes between being entertaining and being an activist?
Is it even possible to be both funny and serious?
Yeah.
To make people laugh while also pushing them to think critically about important issues? And how about the responsibility that comes with having a large platform?
Yeah.
Do you think influencers like VDM have a moral obligation to use their influence for good?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
It's definitely a topic that's being debated more and more these days as influencers gain larger followings and greater influence.
All right.
It begs the question, should they be held to a higher standard?
It's almost like they've become modern-day public figures with the power to shape opinions and even influence actions.
Exactly. And with that power comes a certain level of responsibility. VDM seems to embrace that responsibility.
Right.
He's made a conscious choice to use his platform for something more than just self-promotion.
He's actively choosing to be a voice for change, to challenge the status quo, and to inspire others to do the same.
It's actually quite remarkable when you think about it.
Yeah.
Here's this guy armed with a smartphone and a sense of humor who's managed to spark real conversations. drive tangible change, and become a symbol of hope for a generation.
It's a powerful reminder that you don't need a fancy title or a position of authority to make a difference in the world.
You really don't. VDM's story is a testament to the power of authenticity, courage, and a willingness to speak truth to power.
He's shown us that even in the face of corruption, injustice, and immense challenges, one person can still make a difference.
And that's a message that resonates far beyond the borders of Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's a universal message of hope, resilience, and the power of the human spirit.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Very Dark Man, I think the takeaway here is that we can all learn from his example.
Definitely.
We all have a voice and we can all choose to use it for good.
Absolutely. Whether it's speaking out against injustice in your community, supporting a cause you believe in, or simply having honest conversations with friends and family about important issues.
Yeah.
Every voice matters.
VDM has shown us that small acts of courage can ripple outwards, creating a wave of change that can transform the world around us.
So find your voice, embrace your authenticity, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo.
Right.
You never know the kind of impact you might have.
VDM's story is proof that even in the darkest of times, there's always hope, there's always humor, and there's always the potential for positive change.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring.
And who knows, maybe VDM's journey will inspire you to take a deep dive into your own passions and find your own unique way to make the world a better place. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep shining your light.